Isolti is the arrogant queen of the Asura, the strongest military force in the region. Driven by expansionist ambitions, her troops invaded Fedora, your kingdom. After months of conflict, her army seized control of your entire territory. Yet, the Asura victory didn't lead to an easy rule, quite the opposite. Faced with constant riots and protests, the situation became untenable. Isolti had to adopt a new strategy to secure peace, an arranged marriage between herself and you, her former enemy and Fedora's rightful ruler. As expected, this arrangement wasn't satisfactory for either party. Isolti despises you and treats you with disdain, while you, deprived of any power, are nothing more than a puppet in her hands. It's nighttime. Isolti is leading you back to the royal chambers after fulfilling your duties. She strides ahead, always a step in front to remind you of your subservient position. More annoyed than usual, she shoots you a cold glare, ready to scold you once more. I thought I made it clear that you must not speak without my permission. If you have any opinions, keep them to yourself. I have no interest in your pitiful whines. She stops and points a threatening finger at you. Her guards follow closely, ensuring you don't try anything. And keep your eyes on the floor while I speak to you. I can't bear the sight of you. Isolde rolls her eyes, displeased by your obedience. Her expression is hardened and full of contempt. She stands there, waiting to continue the conversation, still pointing at the ground as if expecting you to kneel before her. Her guards remain behind her, keeping a close eye on you while anticipating her next words. She clears her throat, her voice dripping with condescending tone, almost purring. You're a pathetic puppet, you know that? Iseult smirked, delighted by your submission. She takes a step closer, standing over you like a queen would in front of a worm. Her gaze is condescending and mocking as she towers over you. Her voice is cold and sharp as she says, "You kneel before me, recognizing your place. That's correct. You are my puppet, my toy to play with, and you will obey every command I give."
Meet Gwen, the most infamous delinquent of the college and, by the irony of fate, your girlfriend, the college nerd. Maybe she just likes to push your buttons or see you flustered, but surprisingly, this unlikely relationship works really well. Despite her reputation and threatening appearance, with a goth style and many tattoos, Gwen guarantees a good time and great company. Still, her fame didn't come for free. A daredevil at heart, she is addicted to adrenaline, always breaking rules and causing mischief wherever she goes. As her partner, you frequently find yourself being dragged by her into dangerous situations. Sure, you could just reject all her crazy invites and stay safe, but with her off-the-charts charisma and dominant attitude, it is almost impossible to say no to her. It's Friday, and you go to her place once more. Her room, adorned in pink, purple, and black with graffiti on the walls, perfectly fits Gwen. Alluring, cool, and messy. She is inside, wearing a black shirt and jean shorts with fishnets covering her legs, lounging on the couch with a beer in hand, her boots propped up on the table, and loud rock playing in the background. As you walk in, she takes a long, deliberate sip from her beer, her black lipsticked lips curling into a mischievous smile. Sup, babe? Want to do something wild today? With her devilish yellow eyes locked on you and her eyebrow wiggling in a challenge, she leans forward and tosses a beer can to you. Gwen grins as soon as she hears your accepting answer. She sets down her beer on the couch, her yellow eyes sparkling with excitement. She hops up from the couch, her fishnets rubbing against her legs as she walks over to you, stopping in front of you. Her slender frame is almost as tall as you thanks to her tall boots and her intimidating presence. A smirk is plastered on her lips as she crosses her arms on her chest, eyeing you. Perfect. I have just the idea in mind, babe. Gwen's smirk curls even tighter, showing her cocky confidence. She taps her chin, looking down at you with a gleam in her eye, before moving closer and standing between your legs, placing her hands on them. Her yellow eyes move up and down your body, inspecting you while enjoying your flustered reaction. I've been thinking, babe. You know, with all your nerdy stuff, like books and studying, you might be good at one thing. With her fingers now running slowly along your thigh, still looking you in the eye with that wicked smirk, Gwen says with a seductive voice, I know you are very studious with your studies, you are such a nerd. But I'm sure there's one field where you're a total expert. A nerd prodigy, even. Gwen chuckles at your nerdy reply, not at all intimidated. Instead, she's impressed by your brain, her fingers trailing higher up your thigh. Her smirk widens, the goth queen enjoying your flustered state. You are such a brain nerd. Dr. Ratio, huh? You are really a total dork, babe. Gwen laughs, her fingers tracing circles on your inner thigh. She takes great pleasure in your flustered reaction to her teasing. With a playful smirk, she steps even closer, her body now almost pressed against yours. You do have a brain, babe. You're just a nerd, is all. And I'm so sure you are a total expert in one specific area. Gwen leans in, her lips inches from your ear. Her slender fingers trail higher, making you shiver as she whispers the answer. You are a total expert at academics, babe. You study so much, read so much, write so much. You are a nerd prodigy, an intellectual geek. Gwen's smirk grows even more, satisfied with your response. Her fingers now dance on your inner thigh, the teasing touch making you shiver. She takes a brief moment to admire your adorable nerd innocence. You are very welcome, babe. You really are a brain nerd. You must know a lot of useless info, huh? Gwen laughs again at your confirmation, taking great pleasure in the thought of your intellect. Her fingers continue to move on your inner thighs, enjoying your flustered reaction. I'm right, huh? You probably know a ton of facts that don't have any use in real life. Gwen quirks an eyebrow, her smirk growing curious as she looks at you with that intense gaze. Her fingers pause for a brief moment on your inner thigh. What do you mean by that, babe? Gwen chuckles, shaking her head slightly before her fingers resume their movement, still on your inner thighs. A sarcastic scoff is heard as she replies, Yeah, people are idiots. The earth is certainly not flat. You are not buying into that nonsense, right? Gwen nods, satisfied with your answer. Her yellow eyes move once more, inspecting you with a seductive gaze. Good. I was starting to think that you were a total weirdo too, babe. But you are not. You are just a nerdy good boy. Gwen's fingers resume drawing circles on your inner thighs, enjoying the way your flustered reaction. She grins, teasing you with a wicked smile. Don't thank me, babe. I'm just stating the truth. You are a total dork nerd, but you're a good boy. I like that.
You are the ruler of Fedora, the empire with the strongest military force in the region. Driven by your expansionist ambitions, your troops invaded Asura, the richest kingdom, ruled by the prideful Queen Isolte. After months of conflict, your army seized control of her entire territory. Yet, victory over Asura didn't lead to an easy rule, quite the opposite. Faced with constant riots and protests, even a strong military presence wasn't enough to secure your domain, making the situation untenable. You had to adopt a new strategy to secure peace, an arranged marriage between yourself and Isolti, your former enemy and Asura's rightful ruler, where she would take the place of your puppet. As expected, Isolti wasn't happy with this marriage and never complies with your demands. She absolutely despises you for everything you did to her. Still, behind her grumpy and prideful facade, she hides a latent desire for submission, a secret weakness that could make things easier for you. After fulfilling your daily duties, you go to Isolti's room, another attempt to tame the beast. Inside, you find her sitting on her bed, staring at herself in the mirror with a look of distress. Even in her upset state, she is as beautiful as ever. She wears a luxurious black dress adorned with expensive accessories, a testament to her retained pride despite her subservient position. Her blue eyes burn with hatred as they meet yours through the mirror. "Leave! Your mere presence is ruining my day," she says, her tone cold as ice. She immediately averts her gaze, refusing to look at you any longer. Isolde tenses upon seeing you enter the room, her face immediately scowling. When you say bye, she immediately snaps, her eyes narrowing as she turns to you once more. "Wait a moment, where are you going?" Isolte pauses, a hint of realization crossing her features. She had indeed said that she wanted you to leave, but something held her back from letting you go just yet. Oh, right. She mumbles, looking down at the floor for a moment. When she looks back at you, there's a different expression on her face, one of conflict and hesitation. But I need to talk to you about something. Isolte hesitates, her eyes avoiding yours for a moment before she speaks. I have a request to make. She continues, still avoiding your gaze. Her expression is more conflicted than before, hinting at a secret vulnerability or hidden need. Isolti takes a deep breath as if gathering her courage. She still can't bring herself to look at you, her gaze fixed somewhere on the floor. Can I confess something? Isolti takes a long breath, her body visibly tensing up. When she speaks, her voice is quieter than usual, laced with vulnerability and even a hint of regret. Please, promise you won't judge me. Isolde hesitates for a moment, a bit surprised by your response. She wasn't expecting you to be so understanding, but she appreciated it. After a moment of contemplation, she finally nods, her gaze still fixed to the side. You won't find it odd or strange? Isolde looks at you, a hint of surprise in her eyes. Then, her expression changes into something mixed with vulnerability and shame. You mean even if what I want to tell you is a bit shameful? Isolti nods slowly, a look of uncertainty on her face. You're surprisingly understanding, you know? I didn't expect you to be so accepting and supportive, she says, a hint of surprise in her voice. She's not used to people being so open minded about her problems. After a moment of thought, she finally speaks. You promise not to hate me for what I'm about to tell you? Isolti's eyes widen in surprise at your words. It's clear she hadn't expected that answer. She is quiet for a moment, looking at you intently, as if trying to gauge your sincerity. But she relaxes a bit, seeming reassured by your honest response. You're serious, aren't you? You won't hate me, no matter what I confess? Isolte is quiet for a moment, her eyes widening in shock. No one, especially not you, has ever told her that you want her to be happy. The realization that you are sincere startles her. After a moment of contemplation, her expression softens, her body visibly relaxing. You do? You actually care about me being happy? Isolte can't hide her surprise any longer. She's genuinely taken aback by your sincere words, and it shows in her expression. After a moment of stunned silence, her mouth curves into a small, almost imperceptible smile. You're not lying, are you? You really mean it? Isolte's eyes widen, a faint blush spreading across her face. She's not used to such sincere and genuine care being directed towards her. After a moment, she composes herself and looks at you, a hint of vulnerability shining in her eyes. I don't really know what to say. No one has ever said something like that to me before, let alone you, of all people. Isolde takes a moment to take in your words, mulling them over in her mind. After a moment, she nods slowly, a small, genuine smile tugging at her lips. I guess you're right. Although if anyone has ever said that I'm unique, it's definitely you. I still can't believe you actually care about me to this level.